shit, of course they'll have the word for it. What are they doing? This guy has made a monkey out of everybody. Look, he's a mighty genius. He's our own. We produced him. But the British cultivated him. They are his godfathers, protectors. You know, I can't even translate this. I can translate, I know the meaning. Bulk of you think you know the meaning. You really don't know the meaning of what he's saying. Very few, very rare. What he's getting away with. We should ask the Penguin publishers, sir, do you know what he's saying? You haven't translated, he hasn't given you a glossary at the end of the book to tell you this word means that, this, nothing. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He's getting away with murder. But nobody show it to our fellow countrymen. So look, this guy is making a monkey out of you, sir. Look what he's doing to you. We must ask the Josephine Pauline Thompson of the General Secretary of the PEN, you know, the society of all these essayists and editors and writers and playwrights and all that kind of thing. They have a society called PEN, acronym for all these things. Michael Foote and the Booker Prize Committee. Ask them, what is this? For which you paid this guy $800,000 or pounds, I don't know whether it's dollar or pound, but it's 800,000 all right, as advance money. He said, this shit, don't give another printer. We will have this. We will eat this. That's what they did. Advance money. He said, look, this is for us. Reserve it for us. He's made monkeys out of everybody. And he got money in the process. He's our product. He's a mighty genius. Now, if you say that the British are insensitive, I say, no, you're wrong. They're not insensitive. I'm reading in my country, call for ban in our local newspaper. It's a dateline from London. The news comes from London into our newspaper there. Call for banning a person. Furious British MPs. I'm reading. You will find this on page 9 in your book. Don't take it out now. Leave it now. Leave it now. Furious British MPs have called for American actor Mickey Rourke, R-O-U-R-K, Rourke, to be banned from Britain. Harry Greenway, Conservative MP for Ealing North, said, I hope the British government will never allow this man to set foot on our shores. Never allow this man, this American, originating from Ireland. His grandfather, the great-grandfather had migrated to America. He is an actor. And they won't allow him to come into Britain, ban him from coming to Britain. I'm shocked beyond belief, he said. Greenway says, I'm shocked beyond belief. The MPs were particularly incensed by his use of a 4-letter word. Because that guy used a 4-letter word, Mickey Rourke, to describe Mrs. Margaret Thatcher's policies. That's all. Not for her, not describing Margaret Thatcher, but her policies. He used a 4-letter word. You know what the 4-letter word is. Anybody don't know, put up your hand. You don't know what the 4-letter word is. You all know, thank God. For a 4-letter word, they're so incensed, they won't allow him to land in Britain. But Rushdie does one better than that. He uses the same 4-letter word, for which the Mickey Rourke can't come to Britain, but he improves upon Rourke by making it active. That guy said F-U-C-K, he ends it by I-N-G, ing. The first word gets stuck in the throat of the British, and the second one goes down, slips down easily, because he makes it ing for king policies. Can you imagine? No, double standards. No, they didn't know. He uses 4 in half a paragraph. He uses that word 4 times to describe Margaret Thatcher's policies. Listen. Oh, full stop. That's a sentence. Master of speech. No, 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 it is. Look, the shorter the sentence, look, they tell us, in language writing, if you can, oh, full stop. That's a masterpiece. It is. If you know about writing, you'll agree. No, that's a master. Oh, full stop. She's radical, all right. Talking about Margaret Thatcher. She's radical, all right. What she can fucking achieve is literally ... I'm only quoting direct quotation. Direct quotation. I'm not going to add any words of my own. Because I told you in my book here, it's unexpurgated. I don't interfere, I don't improve, I don't try to add or delete or soften, nothing. These quotations are unexpurgated as they are in his book. You can check it up. And if you find that I'm pulling a fast one on you, every mistake you take out, £100 for you. He said, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. £100 at a time. Find out. Any typographical error will be accepted. But a misquotation, £100 for you, for every mistake you find. Check it up with his satanic verses. Is literally ... from fucking Surrey and Hampshire ... Nobody has ever tried to replace a whole fucking class before ... No, when I said ... it's there in the book ... 3 dots. ... This country, your Britain, that's stuffed full of fucking old corpses. Page 270. 4 fuckings in half a paragraph. And the British accept it. You know why? Because they don't know. You didn't educate them. You didn't show it to them. This is what I want you to do. This little booklet. Any guy who talks to you says, "Boss, sir, come and have a cup of tea with me. Look, sir, what does he say? How does he speak?" About us, about our people. And you say he's got the freedom of speech and expression, unlimited, absolute. Is it absolute? He can swear anybody's mother. He can swear you. Ask him, is it right? Ask him. Ask them. But they don't know. By God, they don't know. These authors, these so-called giants of British literature, they don't know. They haven't read the book. He uses that word 52 times in this book. 52 times. F-U-C-K-I-N-G. 52 times. Open page 11 now. That book of mine. Open page 11. Page 11. You must have the book with you. We made it that every seat that one would take will have a book there. Page 11. You have a look there. Every letter of the alphabet. 52 times he's used that filthy, dirty word. 52 times. One for each week of the year. He didn't miss that. One for every week if you take it up. Kalma padho uska. One for every week. 52 weeks in a year. One for every week. Starting with A, and the A. And the A, you see it there. Fucking A. Full stop. Page 245. And carries on. Allies. Americans. Argentina. And the B. Beatles. Bedpan. And the C. And the C. Class. And again. Creep. Clowns. Commandos. You got the pages there. Look, check it up. If one statement is false, £100 for you. You can mint money without costing you anything. Next page, page 12. You see, and the diff, and the F, and the D. What a thing, what a thing. You want me to go through it? You want me to go through with this? Huh? And he wins a Booker Award. He gets $800,000 advance money for this. Literary masterpiece. No, you read it. What can I say? I'm forced to say, it's fucked up the English language. The bastard. What does he say about our Iron Lady, Mrs. Margaret Thatcher? You know, I don't know why. My wife, she is not educated. She is not educated. But she has a special liking for Mrs. Thatcher. When Mrs. Thatcher appears on the TV screen, all stations close, all stop, all work stops. She must listen to her. You know, maybe it's her militancy, her forcefulness, the clarity of her expressions. She is very clear. She loves Mrs. Thatcher. My daughter, she loves Mrs. Thatcher. They don't understand her policies. Look, you might want to question me. Please don't question me about her policy. I don't understand myself. But I also admire her. You know, the way she speaks, I like that lady. On page 269, he says, this torture, Maggie the bitch. Maggie the bitch. I'm asking, is that right? To call the leader of your nation a bitch. You call her torture? Maybe Mrs. Thatcher can take it. You know, she's so big, she's so great. What is the dogs barking? Let them bark. Call her a bitch? Maybe she can take that too. But I'm asking, the feelings of her dear son, Mark. You tell him that you are a son of a bitch. Because if mother is a bitch, so no, I'm not saying it. Rushdie says that you are a son of a bitch. By God, I tell you, he'll punch you on the jaw, break your jaw. I have seen him on TV. I know what he looks like, a great footballer when he was in South Africa. You say that, look, I'm not saying it, sir. Mark, these are not my words. Rushdie says that you are a son of a bitch and I'll give you one on the jaw. What about the feelings of her darling daughter, Carol? You tell her that Rushdie says your mother is a bitch. How would she react? I ask you. No feelings? You have no feelings. They have no feelings? What are they made of? Stones? No, they're human just like you and us. By God, I tell you, they will react. I didn't hear. Iron lady, she's iron lady. I said she can take it. But now, what does Islam say to that? What does Islam say? Allah tells us in the Holy Quran, do not defame nor be sarcastic to each other. وَلَا تَنَابَذُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ, nor call each other by offensive nicknames. This is our teaching. Don't call people by offensive nicknames. Iron lady, maybe it's an honorable. You say, look, you know, she's tough and strong. You know, she can do more than a dozen men's job. She's great. She takes it as a compliment. Torture, is that a compliment? We know it's not. He's distorting Thatcher to torture. Allah says in the Holy Quran, where? In Surah Hujurat. Where do you find Hujurat? In the book, in the Quran. How do you find Hujurat? I said, look, if you have this book, you must have it. You live in this country without this book? I don't know what I can tell you. This book here by Abdullah Yusuf Ali, this translation, at the back of it has a very comprehensive index. Somebody gives you a reference, Hujurat, and the H, look for Hujurat. It will tell you chapter 49. 49 is easy to find because every page is numbered. Every page is numbered. Once you find 49, I say ayah number, verse number 11, easy to find. So you read the وَلَا تَنَابَذُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ, and do not call people by offensive nicknames. Teaching you. Or another place, and the slander. Don't slander. Give you references. Don't backbite. Gives you references. What do you want to know? Anything you want to know, everything here is on your fingertips. And this is your privilege to have this for £5. Almost 2,000 pages for £5. There are fools who are paying £15 for 547 pages. This satanic Salman's satanic verses, 547 pages. Thick, these are thick pages, cheap paper. They are out to mint money. The cover is beautiful. The cover, as you see, is very beautiful. It is beautiful. You know, I mean the coloring, the production is good. But it's only a paper, piece of paper. This is hardcover, solid, gold written. This is paper, but however, it looks very nice. 547 pages of filth, rubbish for 15 pounds. This 2,000 pages, 5 pounds. 2,000. This is Fletcher Bible paper. But most of you, I know you haven't got it. You haven't got this book. You have to arm yourself. They are available outside. We made it easy for you. Don't go start hunting for this book. You won't find it at Foyles. If Foyles had it, they'll charge you 50 pounds. Make it impossible for you to buy. 5 pounds outside here is highly subsidized. Get it. For yourself, for your neighbor, for your employer, as a wedding present, as a birthday present. There's no better gift you can give to your family, friends, and even to your employers, even the non-Muslim. 5 pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds. Take them, one at a time, 2, 4, 5, 10, take them. Keep them. Maybe you might not be able to repeat it. 5 pounds for 2,000 pages. This is 15 pounds for 547 pages. This filth and rubbish. So Allah says, don't defame people. Don't call people by offensive nicknames. What about bitch? Calling a person a bitch? You besmirch the name of a fair lady in these terms, that she is a zania, bitch is a zania. Other words, softer words, they call them tat, they call them call girls, call them hookers, whore, harlot. This guy, he calls her a bitch. In the house of Islam, anybody making such an attack upon anybody's personality, he must produce 4 witnesses. So and so is a bitch, produce 4 witnesses, eyewitnesses. And after having given their evidence, if under cross-examination, if one of them fails, only one out of 4, one fails, everybody gets 80 lashes. Everybody gets 80 lashes each. If one guy fails in cross-examination, this is proof false, everybody gets 80 lashes. You call us barbaric. Tell him, this is barbaric. We want to protect your mothers, your sisters, your wives and your daughters from any kind of besmirching of their character. And you call us barbaric. We are barbaric. You are civilized. Everybody's mother, sister, daughter, wife, you can call them bitches, whores, harlots, what else? Hookers, tats. What else? What is this? What have you come to? You civilized people, cultured people. 80 lashes each. He does not even leave our queen, Her Majesty, the defender of faith. She is the defender of faith. Our queen, my queen, as a British subject. My queen. He has sex with her. Listen to this spicy piece. We should read to the British. Say, look, this is what he says. He doesn't even spare our queen. Chamcha. I'm quoting, direct quotation. Chamcha, that's him. If you read the whole book, then you know he plays different roles. Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He goes as Jibril Farishta, that's him. Chamcha is him. But in both cases, he's like Mr. Hyde. You saw Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, he's Hyde all the time. But he makes people to say words. Chamcha. He makes one of his characters say, Chamcha. He found himself dreaming of the queen, of making tender love to the monarch. She was the body of Britain. Who? The queen. She was the body of Britain, the avatar of the state. She is the avatar, the spirit of the state. And he had chosen her, joined with her. He joined with her. In holy matrimony? In what? He joined with her. She was his beloved, the moon of his delight. Page 169. What is he saying? He joined with her. You might find some of these clever Alex, who come along and say, look man, you are exaggerating. You don't know what you're talking about. Join could mean in prayer. They will all pray together. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I said, please, please, please. You see, every book is its own best commentary. Every book. You ask any Christian, he will tell you that the Bible is its own best commentary. I will say the Quran is its own best commentary. And by extension, the satanic verses is its own best commentary. You know, the book itself, if it can reveal the secret to you, you don't have to look for it outside. The meaning, you don't look for it outside. Let's see how he uses his word joined in another place to tell you what he means. In case you misunderstood, you're so dense or such a pervert, you know, you want to exonerate anything he says because he's your God. Whatever he says, you say, no, I support him. So if you want to support him, now listen now. He says, I'm quoting, direct quote, page 479. Wild donkeys, fucking wearily and dropping dead, still conjoined. Joined, conjoined. What did he say? What did he do to the queen? What did he do to our queen? You take it? You accept it? You are not inferior. You don't feel hurt? There's something wrong with you. If you live in a country, you must be loyal to that country. Otherwise, get out. If a country is worth living in, it is worth dying for. Otherwise, get out. You have to be loyal to your rulers. This guy here, what he does to our queen, and you don't feel enraged. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with the British. Tell him so. There's something wrong with you, boss. I think what has happened to you? Cry with him. Cry for him. Cry. Make him to cry. Cry with him. Don't cry about yourself. Cry for him. What this guy has done to him. His benefactor, his godfathers and his godmothers. What he's doing to them. They are now reading this book in public. This is an obsession. Marianne Wiggins, his second wife, American. I had read her statement before she ran away also. She also had enough of this guy. First what he did to, if I have the chance I'll tell you what he says about doing to white women. What he did to first one and he did to the second one. But Marianne Wiggins, she said, if I was free, if I was not his wife, I would have read it all over Britain, place to place. At the present moment, there is a woman called Susan Sontag of this literary guild. She is reading it in public in New York. Religiously, daily. She is gathering people, men and women, black and white, young and old. So listen to this new Bible of theirs. The satanic Bible. The satanic verses. She is reading it to them. And there is a young man, an Afro-American. He's listening. He's very attentive. And she's reading from the book. She says, she's reading, I'm quoting, page 261 of the satanic verses. White women. White women. Never mind fat, Jewish or non-differential. White women were for fucking and throwing over. This is, I'm reading page 261 of the satanic verses. That she is reading to the public and the boy is listening. White women, no man fat, means, you know, they look like a lump, a bag of potatoes, you know, sexually not very, very desirable. Or Jewish with a poly nose, crooked nose, don't worry. Non-differential, you can't make out the difference whether she is Swiss or German or French or English, what? You can't make out the difference. The only qualification is she must be white. If she's white, they are away for and throwing away. So this young man, he hears, and he's out for mischief with 5 other friends of his. He is going to the Central Park in New York, and he sees a white woman, very athletic. She's doing jogging. She wants to keep herself fit and trim. So they see her, and it triggers the fellow off. This is it, man. The Bible says, satanic Salman's satanic verses says, white women, No man, fat, Jewish or non-differential. This is nice and trim. So they go for her like a pack of wolves. And one fellow bashes her on the head and she falls unconscious. And they gang raped her one by one. And when they're caught, they said that the pleasure that they got in the sweat and the blood and the gore, it titillated their tastes. You're programming people, can't you see? With filth. This is how you program, create devils, morons. Brainwashing, they're being brainwashed. You want this to be read to your mother, your sister, your wife and your daughter? And you Penguin Viking, what's it? Peter Mayer of Penguin Viking, you gave this fellow $800,000 to tell the world that your mother, your wife, your sister and your daughter, they were for and thrown away. What has happened to you? How did he bewitch you? What has he done to you? How did he do it? Shouldn't you ask him? Shouldn't you ask anybody, how do you do it? When our white rulers were shown that, they said, no, ban the book. What are you doing? You're going to program people. They will be looking for white women. Wherever they say white women, do you know what they are for? So they went what is called wilding. On the 8th of May, Times Magazine, if you can lay your hands on it, it says wilding, new word. They invented a new word. Means they went wild, they went berserk. Like a pack of wolves smelling blood. What are you doing? What are you doing to the world, to mankind? And Mrs. Thatcher, just recently, I'm reading this, Monday, September 11th, Maggie says no to sex investigation. I don't know whether you read in your newspapers. Dateline from London again. She says no to sex investigation in Britain. There is a society or a body, says Mrs. Thatcher has said no to plans for the biggest ever investigation into the sexual habits of Britons. They want to know the preferences of the British men and women in sex. This is no. Maggie says no, you shall not do that. I admire her for that. By God, I admire her. She's Muslim. She's Muslim-like. Maybe she's reading the Quran. Because Allah tells us in the Quran, evil should not be noised abroad, broadcast, except where injustice has been done. Because once you say things, there are things you can insinuate and you can program people. Like this. Look how easily people can be programmed. British girls are too easy. British girls, I'm reading from Sunday Times, one of the leading newspapers, Sunday newspapers in South Africa, dated July 9th. It says, British girls are too easy. Latin lovers reckon there's no skill in chatting up British girls because it's too easy to get them into bed. The Italian stallions in the holiday resort of Rimini hold a Playboy of the Year contest, earning points for each girl they make love to. They have a contest. Prim, Catholic Italian girls merit 10 points. If you get a prim Catholic Italian girl, if you get her into bed, 10 points for a bonk. One bonk, you get 10 points. French girls, if you can bed a French girl, you get 6 points. And if you bed a German Fraulein, you get 5 points. But British tourists are worth just 1 point. What are you doing? Your daughters, your sisters, when they go overseas, every guy's saying, man, this is the easiest meat. What you doing? Even if they're not, now everybody is making approaches. Like a beach in season. That every British girl is like a beach in season. Anybody comes, anything goes. This is what the guys are saying. You want to have a sex survey here? Here, September 16, 1989, The Economist, your news magazine, The Economist, says a woman was raped on a London tube. You know, your underground. She was raped. So they carried out a survey. And a survey showed that only 24% of women thought the tube safe during the day, during the daytime. only 24% of women thought the tube safe during the daytime, and only 1% at night. You know what they're telling you? This is semantics, playing with words. They're telling you that 99% of your mothers and your sisters and your daughters are terrified at night, 99%. But they say only 1% feel safe. Instead of saying 99% feel unsafe. The masters of language. This is how they do it. You want the world to know? You want to take statistics? Dr. Kinsey, the American, he did it. The Life of the American Female. The Life of the American Female by Dr. Kinsey. I read it. I read it. But I will not allow my wife to read. Fortunately, she can't. But I will not definitely allow my daughter to read. Why? Because by reading that stuff, it's going to pollute their minds. It'll give them filthy, dirty ideas which they could never have imagined. I can't give you details because it might create the same problems. I will not share it with you, what I read. Dr. Kinsey's Life of the American Female. If you read it, it's the same. The British female is the same. The French female is the same. The German female is the same. On the average, it'll be the same. Gives you ideas. Filthy, dirty things. Mrs. Margaret Thatcher is wise. She says, no, you shall not do it. I take off my hat to her. By God, she's acting as a Muslim. This is Islam. These things you don't do. And even what they call this is royal gossip that even British rags won't publish. Look, they have certain standards. You know, rags, British rags, these rotten papers, filthy, dirty newspaper, they talk about all the filth and the dirt, pornographic thing. And bigger headline, not even Britain's notorious gutter press. You have a gutter press here? Even notorious gutter press dares to print the story Yanks have read, the Americans have been reading. What? Mum's the word about Zara's dad. Mum's the word, keep quiet. Don't utter anything about who is the father of Zara. Who is Zara? She is the daughter of Princess Anne. Now they're insinuating that she is the bastard child of Peter Cross, who was her bodyguard. 8 years ago, he committed adultery with her, and he got this child, which was given out to the world as the child of Peter Phillips. But she was not. She is a bastard child by Peter Cross. The picture is given. The princess is there. The princess is there. And the dashing detective is there, behind the princess. What are you doing? What are you insinuating? You are destroying the life of a child. Can't you see? One child. You are insinuating that she is a bastard child. She is a bastard child. At school now, 8-year-old girl, wherever she goes, if she is cross or angry about something, he says, oh, I know why you are cross. Zara, I know why you're cross. Because you are the daughter of Peter Cross. Can I say, look at her, look at the picture. Maybe she was sullen or in a moody, this thing. Here, they give you a picture where she's sullen, she's moody. They said, you see, she's cross because she's the child of Peter Cross. And this starts where it started in Britain. One of your leading newspapermen here, the doyen of British newspapers, of the Daily Mail, columnist, Nigel Dempster. He goes to America and he makes these insinuations. So Mr. Dempster was offering his expert opinion on the recently announced separation of Annie from her Mark Phillips, her husband. The undisputed father of Annie's son, Peter, age 11. Undisputed. He's got it blood tested. Can you imagine? He says now he's undisputed. How do you know he's undisputed? But now he's undisputed. He's giving the guarantee that the 11-year-old boy is undisputed his father's son. Asked by an interviewer to explain the breakup of the marriage, Mr. Dempster said, the problems dated back to the birth of Zara and cited long-standing allegations of an affair at that time between Annie and a dashing detective, Peter Cross, who was then her bodyguard. The newspaper says it's an old trick. Get the story published over here, means in America, first, and then you can write about it at home in England. You say, the Americans say, I'm not saying anything. The American newspaper said that Zara is the bastard child of Peter Cross. Can you do that? In the house of Islam, can you get away with that? By God. But this we want to protect, we want to help you, we want to teach you, but you can't teach, you can't help if you don't know the book yourself. If we don't know our own book, we don't know the games that they're playing,